Exe. It's Gift T Makeke, the finest under the sun. Welcome to this week's engagement. It's a Monday, it's the first day of the week, and it's Workers' Day here in South Africa. I hope everybody had an amazing weekend. It's been a long weekend for most of us. And today, it's a day which was previously known as May Day, and I say Workers' Day because different countries they call this day in different names, and in the USA it's still called May Day. And that day, and this day, it has a long history, from the 1800s. So in USA and Canada, in 1884, on the 7th of October, they called the Federation of Organized Unions and Labor Unions called for shorter work days. So, it's a fun fact that since here in South Africa the basic conditions of employment and employment, equities, all these labor relations or labor framework, they say the maximum working days it's 8 hours. So that backs those days in the 1800s, in 1884, when they called for that from 1886 on the 1st of May, we should have 8 working hours. So that's that's pretty much the history of why today we have Workers' Day. But here in South Africa, it started being called Workers' Day on the 1st of May 1994, after the first elections. But the history of the day is not necessarily limited to race per se, because even other races were accumulated throughout when South Africa was in apartheid and before apartheid. But today I'm not as such, but I just felt it's important for us to understand the holidays that we are celebrating, and where are they coming from, what is the genesis or the origin of those holidays. But the engagement is not really far from that. So today I want to highlight the importance of work in general. Which life is work. I always say this: life is work, and we will rest in paradise. I remember from 2 years I was going to crash preschool, then started enrolling in primary school. 7 years of primary school, 6 years. 6 years. Yes, I know most people will be 5 years. Me, it was 6 years in high school. After that, gap year. Even in that gap year, it's not like I was relaxing. Attending my social development, doing these short courses, doing a license, getting Spanish retail. After that, getting a varsity. So I've been working, till today's so, because I'm appreciative of the fact that life is work. When I was in primary, I thought you were figure high school. There will be a time about I will rest. Then now you figure varsity, you finish your course, you think you will rest, but now you're still grinding, you're still working, and that in itself is proof enough. Actually, life is work. This is span here in this world. Here, as long as you are alive, you're gonna work. Even the biology itself confirms that. The moment your heart is developed as a human being, it works from that moment till you die. Whether nanomaslele, our heart, it keeps on beating. Our heart beats whether we are aware or whether we are unaware of that, because life is work. We rest in paradise. And even the working days, speaking of the Workers' Day, we have 5 working days, 2 weekends. Other people will be working 6 days a week. Then essentially, people will be working 5 working days, 2, and you'll be resting for 2 days. And just like now, people were graduating and others are still graduating, and you will see the employment is there's less time to enjoy. There's less time to rest. you'd be studying for a degree the entire 4 years. Maybe if you decided to add some years, maybe 5 or 6 years. Doesn't matter how long it took. But the bottom line is your graduation ceremony, they will tell you it's max 2 hours, the ceremony. In the most instances, it's not even 2 hours. It will be like an hour or an hour and a half. But then that moment where you get, you receive your qualification, or that qualification is being conferred upon you by the Senate or the council of that institution, it's not even a minute, because you'll be there on the stage, they call your name, you go to the executive dean, then that's it, like 30 seconds, then that's just it. After lapho sohleli phansi yaphuma socabanga ukuthi tomorrow I have to go to, if let's say uyaspana by that time uyahamba socabanga isipana tomorrow kumele ngivuke. So life is it's work, like it's like spanning all the time. And I always say this when I'm having conversations with that, people who are a little bit younger than me, my boys, that we have to be occupied. Like akunakuthi emhlabeni nawenzi next, like no one is doing nothing. Like you might say it's nothing because you are measuring it against what other people are doing. You say I'm not doing anything, I'm doing nothing. But the truth of the matter is everybody is doing something. Like everybody is working on something or is being worked on by something. So hence there's this English saying the idle hands are the devil's tools, or an idle mind is the devil's workshop. Because if your hands are idle, the devil will use them. Or if your mind is idle, it will be the workshop of the devil. So basically, if you are not busy with something, you have to be busy with something else. So I can say next. Like, it's impossible you can say you're not doing nothing. If people say, what are you doing for a living? I'm not next. You are saying that because you are not doing what other people are doing, what is the standard of maybe the age, whatever the case may be. But you are doing something, because life is work, and they will definitely rest in paradise. So we have to work as much as we can. As my favorite verse from the Bible, in Shumaeli chapter 9 verse 10, it says, whatever your hand had found to do, speaking of idle hands, do it with all thy mighty. For in the grave where you are all going, there is no hard work, there's no knowledge, there are no advice, there's no creativity, there's no thought. So all these God-given tasks, all these God-given gifts, we have to utilize them while we are still here. When I say life, when we say life, because we're in the grave where we are all going, guaranteed. That's where we're gonna rest. That's when you are when you are dead. Like we can't be saying R.I.P. when you've been resting the whole time. So you have to work now, so that when you are I don't stay a span. May your soul rest in peace, because you've been grinding the entire time, because life is work. And besides, why should you sleep now when it's guaranteed when you are dead? That's what King David says in Psalm, enjoy each day that you live, because you're gonna be dead longer. So if you're gonna live 100 years, when that time comes, you're gonna be dead way longer than the times that you have lived here on earth. So why should you rest when it's guaranteed that there's rest after life? Have yourself an amazing week ahead. From Gift T, Makeke, the finest under the sun. Nyanganyo namanje.